So employer branding is ultimately the experiences that people have in an organization. Yeah?
Correct.
And that is defined by the way that they are led in an organization.
It can have a big influence on that, yeah.
And when leadership and management leadership is difficult,
Yeah.
how do organizations make sure they get that right? So employer branding is ultimately the experiences that people have in an organization. Yeah?
Correct.
And that is defined by the way that they are led in an organization.
It can have a big influence on that, yeah.
And when leadership and management leadership is difficult,
Yeah.
how do organizations make sure they get that right to
Oh, boy.
then result in?
That's a tough one. I'm not sure if you can get it right. The way I look at leadership development is it's always work in progress.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not really about getting it right. It's just about recognizing the need to make sure that there's progress.
Yeah.
And it's also about recognizing that that is a lever, that leadership, improving and growing as leaders from the top down to the first line leaders is an important lever to activate in order to get improvements in the company culture. Or as one of the speakers said, to not mess up what is good.
Yes.
Which is in culture, I've seen that so often, that things are good for a brief time and then things get frittered away and it turns bad again for whatever reason. So leadership development is one of the key levers that we have to utilize to get culture to be better or to improve. And then the way I see employer branding is it's like different links in a chain, and then the people who are working on the inside, that would be also maybe interior designers who are designing the office space,
Yes.
right? And also then the people who are engaged in coaching and leadership development, they're working on the inside so that we have something worthy of sharing on the outside.
Yeah.
And I think probably not everybody approaches it that way, but that's where I am on that chain. I'm in the internal side, this inside out. Let's make it awesome so we have something to talk about. And then part of making it awesome is defining, like you said, where are our problems, where are our weaknesses, what are we not doing that we could be doing that would be beneficial for our people in terms of leadership, or what are we doing which is not beneficial or which is counterproductive that we could change and modify.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like what you do is that you're going in and you're actually saying if you're a new manager, actually, let's look at giving you the tools and the things that you can only really get off over experience to help you be the best manager, because typically what happens, isn't it? You progress as an organization by being a specialist, by being, good an accountant, so you become a more senior good accountant, then you become responsible for accountants. Other professions, of course, are used in this as well. But so I really like what you do in terms of like making sure that ultimately the future leaders of organizations are doing the best that they can in the right way. So then there is that inside out piece, which is organizations being led in the right way. And then the employer brand stuff just oozes out of the organization just by the way people act and behave.
Yeah, exactly. When people are in love with their jobs and feeling great, they feel respected, they feel recognized, they have challenging and stimulating work, they're well cast for their roles, and right? And then it just spills outward. But I guess, what I'm doing is not necessarily revolutionary, but a lot of companies, if you like Microsoft or Google or 3M, they have all of that internally, right? But then for SMEs, and startups, so my companies I work with are, like 150 people or fewer, and they usually have nothing in place for leadership development because they didn't get around to it yet, right? And then my position is always, hey, give me any first-time leader, and I can probably guess, 5, 6, 7 problems that person's either has now or going to have soon. And that's the point. It doesn't take reinventing the wheel, and you don't have to be, Sherlock Holmes to figure out what the needs are. There's just a standard, let's say, toolbox or toolkit that you can really cut the learning curve for new leaders and help them get off to a strong start. And then the human toll of not doing that not only burns out and harms your leader, but the people that they're leading, right? And so then it's kind of I can't necessarily say it's low-hanging fruit, but it's with a little bit of thought and effort and prioritizing the needs of first-time leaders, then you help it's a multiplier. You help a lot of other people, right? Because then not only they're not having bad experiences, but they might even have great experiences.
Well, look, it's easier when you know how.
Yeah.
And you know how, and it's great that you're sharing that with people. So thanks very much.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.